starting strong with a super effective iron head to pressure Hatterene early, this is about carving out the number's edge without risking king a bit too soon. Kowtow Cleave is a solid early hit, aiming to chip Malamar hard while keeping king a bit safe. This turn shapes how much space I get to work with. Switching to Rotom Watch to reset pressure and preserve our last healthy piece, this is a critical pivot to handle Malamar without losing tempo or numbers early. Hydro Pump is a risky hit, but landing it here could crush Malamar and solidify our numbers lead early. This is a sharp pressure play in the opening. Hydro Pump here is a gamble to chunk Malamar hard and seal the 5-1 advantage. If this misses, the endgame tightens immediately. Hydro Pump here is a calculated risk, 80% accuracy but super effective, and the only way to seriously dent that full health Tyranitar before it can turn the tables. If it lands, this endgame swings hard in our favor. This Hydro Pump is a high-stakes shot to finish off Tyranitar and close the game out. It's risky with that accuracy, but the payoff is massive if it lands. Switching to Great Tusk here is a smart reset. Preserving Rotom Watch while applying fresh pressure on that low HP Tyranitar could seal the deal in this tight endgame. Earthquake here is the clean finish. Taking out Tyranitar seals the game with a 4-1 advantage and puts all the pressure back on the opponent. Dropping a super effective Earthquake here is all about forcing Glimmera into the corner. If this lands hard, I keep the number's edge and lock in control of the endgame tempo. That Earthquake seals it, knocking out Glimmera and turning a 4-1 into a straight finish with Great Tusk still healthy. Great Tusk goes for the big, super effective Earthquake, betting on raw power to take down Ceruledge quickly and keep the 4-1 advantage intact. This turn could seal the deal. Ceruledge is hanging by a thread at 1%. This Earthquake seals the deal cleanly, wrapping up the endgame with minimal risk and keeping Great Tusk intact for whatever comes next. Great Tusk just went down, so switching to Ogerpon Wellspring is about resetting pressure and preserving our best chance to finish off Coolidge in this tense 3-on-1 endgame. This super effective Ivy Cudgel could finish off Ceruledge and cement the 3-1 advantage, pushing us into a commanding endgame position. That Ivy Cudgel hit is huge, putting Ceruledge on its last legs while preserving our numbers edge in this closing sequence. Switching to Dragapult here is all about preserving our last healthy piece and forcing Ceruledge into a tough spot. This is the reset turn that could seal the deal or swing momentum back. This Shadow Ball is a clean, high-pressure strike, aiming to finish off Ceruledge and seal the numbers advantage before the final clash. Shadow Ball hits super effectively on Ceruledge, aiming to close this out before it can turn the tables. This is the squeeze play that seals the pressure in the endgame. Switching to Gholdengo here is about preserving Dragapult and resetting pressure. Ceruledge's low HP means this exchange could seal the deal if played right. This Shadow Ball is a calculated finish attempt. Ceruledge is low and super effective damage here could seal the game. But if it misses, Gholdengo's left exposed in this high pressure closing sequence. Starting with Rapid Spin is a smart, low-risk way to chip at Zapdos while potentially clearing hazards later. This keeps Great Tusk ready to pressure without overcommitting early. Rapid Spin here is a solid, safe play to chip Zapdos Galar while keeping our tempo. No hazards to clear yet, but maintaining pressure early is key to getting Great Tusk through clean. Great Tusk just went down, so switching to Rotom Wash to preserve a healthy pivot and keep pressure on Zapdos Galar while avoiding risky trades early. Volt Switch hits hard on Zapdos Galar and lets Rotom Wash pivot out safely, keeping pressure while preserving momentum early in the game. Switching to Gholdengo to reset pressure and contest Zapdos Galar directly, this is the pivotal moment that could lock down tempo and shape the closing sequence. This Make It Rain is the cleanest way to pressure Landorus Therian hard right now. If this hits hard, I can start closing with my numbers and speed advantage. Shadow Ball here keeps the pressure on Cinderace while preserving Gholdengo's strong tempo. This exchange could seal control of the endgame. Making the strongest neutral hit here with Make It Rain is all about squeezing damage on Lander's T without risking the tempo. This exchange could tip the endgame balance. Hitting Lander Asterion hard with Make It Rain is the cleanest way to keep the pressure on and protect Gholdengo's edge. Losing this exchange would cost too much this deep in the endgame. Switching to Ogerpon Wellspring to reset pressure and preserve our low HP Gholdengo, this is a critical reset play to maintain our numbers edge and keep the endgame fight alive against Landor Asterion. Hitting Landor Asterion hard with a super effective IV Cudgel here is the kind of pressure I need to start swinging this endgame my way. Going for IV Cudgel here puts huge pressure on Cinderace. This could force a critical switch or even net a KO, tightening the grip with our 4-1 advantage. IV Cudgel is the go-to here to chunk Dragapult hard despite the resistance. This hit needs to set up a clean finish without giving them a chance to counterattack. Going all in with IV Cudgel to pressure Dragapult hard, this hit needs to pay off to keep the finish line in sight. This hit seals the pressure on Dragapult, resisted but powerful enough to threaten a KO and push the endgame into sharp focus. Switching to King Ambit here is a smart reset to preserve our health and keep the pressure on Dragapult. This is the pivot that could seal the endgame. This Kowtow Cleave hits Dragapult hard, pushing to close out the game before it can turn the tables, risking it all on this damage spike with the speed advantage locked in. That Kowtow Cleave is the perfect closing pressure. Knocking Dragapult low on HP with a speed edge puts us firmly in control of this endgame. That Iron Head hits hard on Garganacl, putting serious super effective pressure on their bulk and pushing the numbers advantage closer to a finish. This Kowtow Cleave is a clean, high-impact strike, no guesswork, just pure pressure on Ogerpon Wellspring to force a reaction and keep the tempo locked in our favor. This Kowtow Cleave is a clean kill on Ogerpon Wellspring, securing the numbers advantage and pushing the endgame fully in our favor. This Kowtow Cleave is the sharpest shot to finish off Dragapult and seal the deal. If it connects, the endgame's ours with the numbers and pressure locked in. Going for Hydro Pump right out the gate is a bold risk to cripple Ambipom early and claim the tempo edge. If it lands, this could snowball fast. Hydro Pump is a bold early strike to chip Ambipom before it can pressure Rotom Wash, but that 80% accuracy means this turn carries real risk. Missing here could force a tough reposition. Volt Switch chips Zarude while keeping Rotom Wash safe to pivot out. This turn's about preserving tempo and avoiding early damage that could cost later. Rotom's low HP forces a reset switch to Kingambit, preserving our piece and keeping pressure on Zarude without risking too much early. Ironhead here is a solid, safe hit to chip Zarude without risking a switch or overcommitting. This turn shapes a tight endgame dance with 6-2 on the board. Ironhead hits Zarude hard, pushing its HP down, forcing a critical response. This exchange could tip the endgame balance fast. Ironhead is a solid call here, maximizing damage on Primeape without risking a switch or giving up tempo, crucial with our numbers advantage in this tense endgame. Kingambit just fainted, so switching to Dragapult is a smart reset to preserve our momentum and keep pressure on Primeape while we still have the numbers advantage. Draco Meteor here is a high-risk, high-reward play to break through Primeape early in this crucial endgame. If it lands, it swings the board heavily in our favor with our numbers advantage. Draco Meteor here is a high-risk, high-reward play aiming to break Ambipom's stall and keep the numbers edge. If it lands, this could seal the endgame, but a miss hands momentum right back. Switching to Golden Go here is all about resetting pressure and preserving our pieces. It's the cleanest way to handle Ambipom and close this out with our numbers advantage intact. That Make It Rain should finish off Ambipom and seal the numbers advantage, putting clear endgame pressure on the opponent with Goldingo fully healthy. Infernape's full health means this Shadow Ball is a calculated pressure play. I need to chip it down now or risk losing the tempo edge in this critical endgame sequence. Shadow Ball on Infernape keeps the pressure high despite low HP. This hit could force a crucial switch or chip damage that shapes the endgame grind. Goldingo just went down, so switching to Great Tusk is a must to keep up pressure on Infernape and preserve our numbers. This pivot resets the tempo and could decide the endgame. Great Tusk goes for a super effective Earthquake, putting serious pressure on Infernape and threatening to close out the game with that damage edge in this crucial endgame moment. Knockoff here is a smart pressure play, stripping Rillaboom's item to blunt its impact and keep our numbers advantage meaningful in this critical endgame exchange. Knockoff here is a smart squeeze. Removing Rillaboom's item tightens the noose and keeps their options limited while I still hold the numbers edge in this crucial endgame sequence. Great Tusk goes down, so switching to Ogerpon Wellspring is about resetting pressure and preserving our last healthy piece against that strong Rillaboom. This turns a critical pivot. U-turn here keeps up the pressure with a super effective hit and lets us pivot to preserve momentum in this tight 2v2 endgame. Switching to Rotom Wash to reset pressure and preserve this fragile piece is a smart reset. Even if the matchup isn't ideal, this moment could decide the endgame around Rillaboom. Rotom Wash is hanging by a thread, so Volt Switch here is a smart escape to chip Rillaboom and preserve this fragile momentum. No way I'm risking a knockout on this low HP. Switching in Ogerpon Wellspring feels like a reset move to preserve our last piece against Rillaboom's pressure. This is the moment that decides if we can claw back or fold. That U-turn is a sharp move, applying super effective damage and setting up a pivot to keep pressure on Rillaboom while I'm running on fumes. This exchange could make or break the endgame. Ivy Cudgel hits to pressure Munkidori hard at just 30% HP. Ogerpon Wellspring can't afford to miss this chance to chip away and force a critical play next turn.